Hello again everyone, I'm Jamie and welcome back to TrikBrix. Today we're going to be taking a look at another set I have vivid childhood memories of, the Hot Rod Club. Designated set number 6561, this was released in 1994. It contains 237 pieces and includes 3 minifigures, so let's get it in gear. There's a lot to look at here, so let's start small and work our way up. First, we have this black motorcycle. While I do like the modern design that LEGO uses today, there's something about this simpler version I prefer. You have space for one minifigure, a few studs on the back and side for adding whatever you wish, and a tail light and headlight. The front forks don't turn, unfortunately, but you do have some nice translucent wheels here, which kind of simulate the look of spokes. Next, we start to get into the heart and soul of this set. Both hot rods share a very similar design, but have enough differences besides the color scheme to keep them interesting in their own right. Old Yeller, as I've nicknamed this one, has a nice raked stance, thanks in part to having this staggered wheel and tire setup. At the front, you've got small, smooth tires, a pair of headlights, and a single gray stud representing a radiator cap. Behind that is the power plant, and I've always liked this design technique, using 2 hinge bricks to obtain the V shape of the engine. The driver is protected by a few translucent panels acting as a windshield, and as you probably noticed, both of these cars are just single-seaters, unfortunately. I know that's just the way LEGO vehicles work in general, but I would prefer at least 2 seats in almost every instance, unless we're talking about dragsters or F1 cars. Just personal taste on my part, and I realize that it's an unrealistic expectation, especially in these older sets. There are opening doors on each side for your minifigures to get in and out, but another method is through the roof, which is hinged for easier access to the interior. When closed, it has a nice slant to it, and features a sunroof which can be opened independent of the roof itself. Inside, you've just got a steering wheel. The rear of the car has some nice shaping by way of these curved slope bricks, and here we'll also see one of the stickers included, this one depicting a palm tree at sunset. It's a little worse for wear, but keep in mind that this is nearly 25 years old. I think this is meant to be a license plate, and you've got a pair of taillights to finish everything off. But if I were racing for pink slips, this hot rod is the one I'd want. As I mentioned a moment ago, it features many of the same design cues, so we'll just focus on the big differences here. And we might as well talk about the most obvious thing first, these killer chrome side pipes. I really miss chrome elements, which is something LEGO has quit producing almost completely. These were, without a doubt, 2 of the coolest parts in the set, and for a while I used them on every custom car I built. The engine design is just slightly different, using these modified tile pieces for valve covers instead of the red studs. And they've added an extra row of bricks here, creating a nice cowl shape. The driver's compartment and roof setup are nearly identical, but this one features a slightly reworked tail section, which I actually prefer. Everything rides on treaded tires and white wheels, and when placed side by side you'll notice that there's quite a difference in wheelbase between the two, thanks to a dissimilar technique used in building the chassis. As a side note, it's also worth mentioning that this car is very similar to another set from 1994, 6538, the Rebel Roadster. While this is my favorite of the 2, both cars are awesome in their own right, and there's just enough difference between them to avoid repetition, and feeling like you're building the same thing twice. But the name of this set is Hot Rod Club, so let's go check that out. If this architecture is any indication, it never rains or snows in Legoland. Now that's not to say that I don't like this open air feeling. It's a design cue that LEGO employs to this day, and its simplicity is quite endearing, but as a Midwesterner approaching winter, I'm more than a little jealous. The first thing that catches our eye here is this very cool looking club sign. It's another sticker with a sweet hot rod and palm tree design, and this time it's applied over 2 separate bricks, which I tend not to like. When this method is employed, there's always the chance that the 2 bricks will separate, either during play or in your LEGO bin, which can cause stress and ultimately ruin the decal. Luckily, this one is in pretty decent shape, and I appreciate the skill with which it was applied, since I purchased this set used and second-hand stickered elements are always a gamble. Next to the sign is an adjustable floodlight for late-night tinkering. But moving down from the roof, we have a fully functional speed shop with everything you need to soup up your hot rods. There's a ton of play value here, beginning with this tool rack on the left-hand side. You've got a fire extinguisher for when things go awry, as well as a hammer, shovel, wrench, a broom, and what I always thought was a ratchet, but you could also see this as a box end wrench. The right side of the building is dominated by an open garage bay with plenty of room for at least one car, and it comes complete with a wheel balancer. And this keypad is the only printed element in the set, apart from the minifigures of course. And since it's always warm and sunny in Legoland, our hot rodders are able to grab an ice-cold beverage from this nifty little cooler. The sticker above would indicate that it's orange juice the guys are enjoying, although if we crack it open, we'll see that the bottles inside are yellow. Something fishy going on here. A slew of additional tools and accessories are included to round out the scene and create infinite play scenarios. You've got a hand dolly, a brick-built oil can, and the one that I always had the most fun with as a kid, a fully functional floor jack. Some clever geometry in its design allows for the jack to raise and stay locked in place when the handle is lowered. There are also 2 extra front wheels and tires, which makes for a complete set of spares if you take into account the 2 rears on the balancer. And just for good measure, even though it won't fit on either car without some serious modifications, a spare axle piece. And somebody's got to drive and maintain these hot rods, so let's take a quick look at our minifigures. First up, we have the mechanic. He's given a white ball cap, black sleeveless shirt, and white pants. And this shade sporting face print was quite a common sight back in the day. But as far as sunglasses go, I prefer this guy's. The driver of Old Yeller, he gets the classic black hair, very cool bomber jacket, and light gray pants. His face print is one of my favorites from this era, with the aforementioned sunglasses and stubbly beard. Lastly, we get the Fonz, or at least that's what I always called him. The proud owner of the black and red rod, he features the same hairpiece, and his torso is another of my favorites, depicting that classic leather jacket. It goes without saying that he, nor the other two, have any alternate face or rear torso printing. Overall, this is an excellent little set. I'd love to see LEGO update it today, but I doubt that it would have the same simplistic charm as this one. If you'd like to add the Hot Rod Club to your LEGO town, you can expect to pay somewhere between $40 to $50 for a used set, and closer to $100 for a sealed specimen. But as always, keep your eyes peeled. I was patient and picked this one up on eBay for just $25. At the end of the day, if you couldn't tell, this has been a very satisfying trip down memory lane for me, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you did, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, and click that subscribe button so you're sure not to miss out on the next retro review. So until then, this has been Jamie for TrikBrix. Thanks for watching, and play well!